All right, good evening. We'll call the meeting to order, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Roll call, Mr. Lombard.
Holm.
Yes.
Odie. Yes. Saxer. Yes. Scott. Yes. Bell. Yes.
All right, if there are no questions on the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented, please.
Madam Chair, just one quick correction. The special education teacher that is being added, the additional FTE, will be at Brandon Elementary, not RBE. We got too many BEs, so at Brandon Elementary, not Robert Bennis Elementary. If the minutes would please note that adjustment. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented and changed. There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest disclosure or waiver requests this evening. Takes us to, shoot, I hit a wrong button, sorry. Community input. Nothing this evening. Takes us to general business oral reports, a good news report from the Brandon Valley Middle School.
All right, thank you so much for having us. I'm Principal Amanda Nelson, and I'll let everyone else introduce themselves as well. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Starfish Initiative at Brandon Valley Middle School.
I'm Jamie Button. I teach 7th grade math.
I'm Ms. Hoff, and I'm the assistant principal. Dr. Larson, can you close out of that, download our new video editor? I'd rather not right now. Okay, perfect. So Starfish Initiative, mainframe today. What did we do? Why did we do it? How did we do it? And then what are our steps moving forward? So the Starfish story, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but the Starfish story says that there was a young child approaching a beach and there's just starfish covering the beach. And so the child goes out, picks a starfish up, and starts returning single starfish to the sea. An adult comes by and says, like, what are you doing? Like, you're never going to catch up. Like, you're never going to make a dent in this. And the kid picks the starfish up and says, I made a difference to this one, and tosses it in the ocean and says, and that's what matters for that one. So that impacts us at the middle school.
Like the person returning the starfish to the ocean, one at a time, our starfish program is built on the belief of intentional relationships, care, and support that can change a student's path. And for that one student, it matters. Yeah. So our program directly aligns with the BVSD strategic plan, the school board educational philosophy, and the district goals and objectives. So we kind of have those all listed up here. For academic success, the positive teacher-student relationships are linked to higher test scores, narrowing achievement gaps, and then lowering rates of special ed referrals. As far as emotional and safety well-being of our students, in middle school, closeness with teachers predicts gains with achievements. Sometimes we see that a lot more in elementary, but it's still true as far as middle schoolers. So that closeness sometimes tends to decline and conflict can increase, but with the supportive relationships, they can serve as a protective factor during the transitions here in middle school. Student voice and confidence. So persistence, invested effort when at least one teacher regularly seeks student input and feedback, and then you positively respond. Students report that we see like higher engagement and fewer absences. And then the last one we show is enhancing student support competencies. When students experience their teachers as compassionate listeners who respond constructively, they are more willing to seek academic and mental help instead of hiding their struggles. So specifically for middle schoolers, I feel like it's important for them to have their person and being able to find the help when they need it, mentally or with their academic struggles, because hiding their struggles and pushing them down leads us down not great paths.
So our timeline, it started out on our in-service day on October 10th, printed every single student's name, all 800 of our kids, and posted it around our commons and said to our staff, go put initials by anybody that you have a relationship with. Go identify those that you have some type of connection. And so we took that data. There were 93 students out of 800 that there were no teachers identified having a relationship with that student. So we call them as blanks. 93 students had blanks. So we set out a challenge to our teachers of go and, if you are willing to, go and pick one of those that you are going to actively try to form that relationship with. So teachers signed up for that. So in December, Dr. Nelson checked in with those like, hey, you signed up to have build a relationship with this student. How's it going? Is there something that we can help? Are there concerns? Just checking in. Got a lot of cool feedback, a variety of feedback. It was interesting just knowing the intentionality of some of our staff. So we took that same data from October 10th, and we took our 800 kids, and if they had 3 initials or more, we deleted them off the list. So we reduced it down or narrowed it down to students that were identified with 2 or fewer. We hung them back up, and we challenged every single staff member. And when we say every single staff member, it was custodial, it was office staff, it was nursing, it was our lunch staff, it was all of our teachers, all of our EAs, every adult in the building, technology. Here's 12 sets of your initials. October to January is a long time to build a relationship. Go identify any new relationships that you have. And so we did those pieces, and then we had 93% of our staff turn out and actually participate in that. So a good turnout. The buy-in on that was really good. Compared no initials in October to no initials in January, and we were down to 8 kids. So that was already a huge win. So we have the staff buying in on it, and it's only so good pending what your students say, right? So then developing a student survey that got sent out on February 10th. Pretty cool. The first day it was sent out, we had 89% completion rate the very first day, which was amazing. Obviously absences, we caught up with them. We got to like, what is the exact number? 99.87%. We missed 1 kid in our building when we pulled the final data that didn't complete the survey for us. So that was really cool. Go to the next one for me. Just an example of questions that we gave. Yes, no questions. We made sure to define a go-to adult for them, a trusted grown-up at school that you can talk to when you need help, feel safe, or worried about yourself or someone else, or don't know what to do. This adult listens, supports you, and helps keep you safe. Just so they knew what we were referencing, what does a go-to adult mean? Some of our questions were always sometimes or never. Some were some drop-downs with the ability to add in other, or on a scale of 0 to 4 on there. So just a reminder, we had 8 students that didn't have a teacher identify as having a relationship. So we specifically went and looked at those 8 kids, and only 1 of them said that they didn't have a relationship with an adult. The other 7 identified an adult that they felt they had a relationship with. So that's like 0.1% of our students don't have a go-to adult. So that was a huge win in our piece.
So when the students took the survey, they had 10 questions that they were initially asked. We went over those 6 in here that we really dug into the data for tonight. And we'll go through all of it with our building, but these top 6 for tonight. So is there at least one adult at school that you feel comfortable with? 90% said yes. So nearly 9 out of 10 students report having at least that one trusted person. This will significantly reduce risk behaviors, improve resilience. Jamie talked a little bit before about some of the research that goes into that. 10% initially said no, which we'll look at later in some of our next steps, and what does that mean, and what do we do for those kids that don't feel like they have that connection. When asking who is your go-to adult, one of the cool things that came out of that was 89% of our staff was mentioned. There's only 9 adults that weren't listed out of 79 as go-tos, either primary or secondary. So when we looked at that data, we saw teachers that might teach self-contained, like they are only with 8 kids all day. Our nighttime custodians, some of the cooks that are maybe not front of house. So those pieces made sense once we dug into that, but 89% of our staff was identified. Button.
Okay, teachers care about me as a person, not just a student. This was one of our questions. Kind of trying to take it a little bit farther, like, yeah, we know teachers care about me. Like they want me to grow academically, but we want them to know that we're here for them as people as well. So 94% said yes or marked always or sometimes, because it was a always, sometimes, never question. Yeah, our opportunity for this question is with nearly half of our students. Half of them marked sometimes. We want to move those students from like, it's okay, to I know my teachers care about me. Like maybe as sometimes, but we want them to know that, yes, we do. So we want them to feel more comfortable saying always when answering this question. Another one is, if I have a problem, I know who to go to for help. And 94% of our students agreed with that. They have someone they can go to if they need help. So this reflects on our system, that we have a clear system of support. And we have visible adults and functional help pathways. So students know we're here, they know how to get help, and they know who to ask. Yeah.
All right, adults at this school listen to students. Again, 97% said that sometimes or always. So they know that we care, but we need to make sure that we move beyond just the caring of like, hey, how are you? But can you recall the conversation I had with you last week? Do you bring that up? Do you know me by name? Those pieces of taking it even to that deeper level. This is the one that was, I think, super interesting for me. If you don't feel comfortable going to staff, what would help? Some of the responses, they're shy. It's just not my personality. But they want to feel known and they want the predictability. So when we talk about teachers being in the hallways and teachers being present, they want that structure. Like every Wednesday, I'm going to see this teacher. You know, some of that predictability of, okay, I know I can check in with this adult because they're always at this location on this day. So just reminding our staff, like, it seems like they don't need me in the hallway. We do need you in the hallway. That kid needs you in the hallway, so that they know, like, I don't have to seek out an adult. That person's right there, and I can just walk up and talk to them. All right, so high leverage next steps. We could set 50,000 things that we're going to do next, but focusing on 3 main tasks that we want to talk about in our building moves. Consistency is key is a phrase that we started with our staff in August. Our very opening in service was we need to have common language, common responses, common reactions to those pieces. And we need to continue to do that. Middle school brains function off of that. They like the predictability on there. Also, making sure that we are providing a space for them to be vulnerable, for them to share moments of need.
We also have normalizing access. So we want, students want to see staff as approachable and non-judgmental. Everyone deserves a fresh start. Every day, like if something happened the day before, we have a fresh start now. Just the non-judgmental, hey, we're okay, moving forward from every teacher every day.
One of the biggest things that we can do is those micro moments. Sometimes when we talk about Starfish or when we did the follow-up in December, people, I had a few feedback moments where staff's like, we don't have time for me to learn their life story. I'm teaching math. The micro moments matter, and that's what we saw from the student feedback the biggest. Can we call that student by name? Can we say, hey, how was the baseball tournament last weekend? Can we do those quick things in the hall? And that's what what research shows and what our students are telling us that really matter. The non-academic conversations are just as important sometimes. We also need to prioritize some of the high-needs students, or I don't like the term at risk, but students that were in that 10%. We know who they are, we know what teams they're on, and we're going to use these 3 strategies for our next steps to really make sure that by the time that we end this year, 100% of our students can name somebody that is their go-to adult. So the Starfish program is based on a simple idea. When one adult takes time to care, listen, and support, it can change a student's entire school experience, and I'd go as far as to change their trajectory. So we'll see what we do in 4th quarter, who we can connect to, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I very much appreciate the overview. I didn't know the program, so thank you. I apologize that I didn't know. You kind of hit on my question, was kind of like, we did the survey of the students. I'm sure it's in your plans, like survey the staff and kind of get their thoughts and feedback. Because like you said, the initial reaction is time, kind of maybe the emotional overload that can present. But wondering if they're starting to see the good effects too of being that.
Staff.
Sorry.
You agree on that? Do you feel like you're seeing?
Seeing students.
Being able to connect with different people?
Yeah. Thinking.
On the spot.
It's okay. I did not mean to do that to you.
That's
I
okay.
just,
That's
that'll be
okay. I
something
was
curious
messing
probably for next steps and iterations, because I'm sure you
Yeah.
had some that jumped in, just like
No.
any kind of new program, and I'm just curious if they're starting to now feel the difference and see the difference themselves.
Yeah, well, I specifically took on one of the students with 0. So when I put that name or my name next to theirs, I can talk to that a little bit, I guess. Just like sometimes for me, even just being like, oh, I need to be intentional with that kid, it makes that a little bit easier to ask the non-academic questions, especially when I know a specific name behind it, not just like all 120 kids, get to know them in your room. Obviously, I want to, but if I have one that I'm focusing on, I feel like it just helps a little bit more to be more intentional about that. And I've seen growth with my relationship with that student, so hopefully they feel that in return. Yeah.
Great. I appreciate you sharing. Again, thank you so much for the intentional program that you put out there. It doesn't just happen overnight, and I'm sure there's a lot of momentum underneath of it, so just appreciate all the work, because every student matters. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you to all of the Brandon Valley Middle School staff, regardless of title and/or classification. I think that's really important, that we all understand that every adult matters and every adult can have a positive relationship with our kiddos. Some kiddos even, or some children even find better connection with a bus driver or a janitor or, a nurse. So a special thank you to all classifications of employees, and thank you for your intentionality of making relationships matter.
I just want to add, that's one of our favorite parts from digging through the data. Someone put, the custodian at lunch, the guy, I don't know his name. We got you, Rick.
I just want to, again, say thanks. Love the story, love the program, love the idea. I'd even be interested to see other schools maybe try to do the same thing. My one question would be, have you seen a difference? Obviously, this is the first year, correct? So your 8th graders are just now doing it. I'd be interested to see it come next year. How did those 7th graders advance, and the data with the schoolwork? Not just the emotional, feeling comfortable, but how does that affect their schoolwork throughout the day, grades, all that, so.
Yeah, our hope is to continue that data, because research shows us that it should improve. attendance and academic success, so we're hoping that we could do that at the middle school.
And I would just put out there as an encouragement, I guess, dress up on this. If we can mimic this to your staff, or if there are people that you would like us to be intentional with for encouragement, I know I'm on board, so just, and that goes to any building, obviously, but just to be in part of the Starfish program. Don't put me with a kid, I'm barely keep mine alive.
I
so.
got one for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, admin report, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few very brief items to update the board on here this evening. Both our construction projects remain on time and on budget. Berkman Valley Elementary scheduled to be completed earlier in the summer, and then the middle school, like we've talked about, is going to be worked on throughout the entirety of the summer, pushed right up to the start of school. So both of those projects continue to progress, and we continue to push for completion. Impactful road construction projects, I know we've talked about a few of them, but we are gonna really start to get into that pop-up road construction season where they show up on Holly Boulevard on a Tuesday morning, and it's just impactful, and it's just the way it is. So we appreciate everyone's flexibility and understanding as we get through that season. Academic calendar, we have 2-hour early dismissal on April 2nd. There's no school on April 3rd or April 6th. The South Dakota legislative session has been completed outside of the veto day. You can see those respective bills there. A fair amount of action here this year, so we are taking that 1.4% increase that the state has given us and gonna do everything we can to get that into the hands of our people in whatever way we can to the greatest extent possible. Budget process, you've been through this. I think the biggest item is you'll see a preliminary budget presentation in May, and then we'll look to have our public hearing and our action in July. Negotiations and other related items, teacher negotiations will take place this Wednesday. Personnel Welfare Administration and the association will meet on the 25th at 5 p.m. If processes are completed successfully, I believe that we'll ratify the master agreement on April 13th. Administrative contracts will be offered at the April meeting, and then superintendent negotiations begin. Brandon Valley School District Teacher of the Year and Classified Employee of the Year program. Those programs are out there and available. Would certainly encourage anyone that would like to make a nomination to get out online and submit that respective application. Special thank you to First National Bank for supporting our Teacher of the Year program. A special thank you to Ace Hardware for supporting our Classified Employee of the Year program. So if folks would, please get out there and nominate a great Brandon Valley School staff member. And then lastly, for the Board of Education, please mark your calendar for Tuesday, May 5th at 6 p.m. We will have our Brandon Valley Staff Recognition Banquet. So again, Tuesday, May 5th, 6 p.m., Brandon Valley High School. Lastly, I guess we're in the midst of spring. Testing season is really ramping up, so we appreciate all of our parents, guardians, and families for making certain that kiddos get a good night's sleep, eat some breakfast, and come to school ready to crush it. So appreciate all they do to help us through that testing season. With that, would certainly entertain any questions you have.
Any questions for Superintendent Larson this evening? All right, thank you. And your shirt, spring? I'm just checking, just asking questions. All right, board policy, none this evening. That takes us to general business. I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 4 as presented, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Under personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 7, please.
Before the approval, I just want to make a comment, as I'm asked a lot of questions about personnel. Even though it's a quick approval, it doesn't mean that it's always quick on the heart. It is always hard to see some people leave, and it's always exciting to see new people come in. So I just want to say that this isn't done in cavalier. It's really, it's hard a lot of times because they make special impacts to us as well as our kiddos. There's one on this list that she knows who she is that wouldn't gotten through the last couple of years without her, but that is so many to be said about so many, back to the Starfish thing. So I approve.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Under information only, items 8 through 12 are there for review. Communication, if there is anything for their review, you should find it there. That takes us to board reports, formal board reports. Does anyone have one this evening?
We did have a meeting for child nutrition and wellness. I don't want to steal their thunder because I think we conned them into doing a good news report here over the food fair. And just to say, it was amazing. They already are on action of things that they want to do better and improve and get more kids involved. So just very excited. That was one of those things on the innovation where a lot of kids, what they responded with is they had no idea that their opinion mattered in the food that they ate, and they're excited about what may come for choices. So just kudos to them and excited to hear more when they report. On the other side of things with legislation, obviously, we're just waiting for veto day. A lot of questions I get is, yes, there's been some things that changed, but we don't know how. A lot of the formulas, so that's still yet to be seen. So we don't have answers to that because they haven't been etched out. So stay tuned and fully support how do we get 1.4 as best we can to all of you that do such an amazing job for our district and get us to where we are today.
Anyone else? All right. With that, that takes us to we need to enter into executive session per South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2.4 for teacher contract negotiation preparations.
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. All right.
So moved.